Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3 of Theme Park Center. Today we're going to be talking about a few different things, but basically just our trip to Disney this past week. It was actually yesterday when we were recording this, but we did Secrets of the Empire, which is a virtual reality experience at the Void at Disney Springs. And then we also spent the day at Epcot experiencing a few different things for the last time before they close over there. So we just wanted to talk about that a little bit today. And by we, I mean me. My name is Jonathan Holt. And today I'm also joined by Tricia Kennedy.
I'm back.
So when we started off the day, we met at Disney Springs because I actually just got a new annual pass. And tip for anyone who's getting an annual pass out there, if you do get a pass online and you don't want to pay, I don't know how much it is, $25 or whatever for parking, you can just go to Disney Springs and pick it up at the guest services over there, because Disney Springs has free parking. So that's a quick hack for you if you want to save some money. So write that down. So that's what I did. I stopped by Disney Springs to pick up my annual pass, but I was like, hey, since we're spending the day over there anyways, you want to do Secrets of the Empire?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, ever since it opened, really, because there were so many people that told me, hey, if you're a Star Wars fan, you have to do this. But it was just hard to always justify the cost, you know? So I never did it. But, since we're headed out there, like, why not?
Yeah, it was something I've wanted to do for a while, but like almost $40. So I was kind of like, but like, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about that just a little bit.
Yes.
So when it opened, I think it was $29.95 or something like that.
Yeah, and there was a Passholder discount for a while.
Yeah.
And they got rid of that.
Yeah, so now, no Passholder discount.
Nope. There is cast member discount, though. So if you
Okay.
work for Disney, you can. I don't know what the discount is, but I did see that on their website.
Okay. That's something that I've noticed. Like Disney, just over the last, I think, year or so, they've been cutting back on Passholder discounts a lot.
Yeah.
That's kind of surprising that there's an experience at Disney Springs and they don't give any discounts, really, unless you're a cast member.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so now there's no discounts, and they raised the price to just under $40. I think we paid $37, $39, something like that. But yeah, that's a lot of money, especially for like I was reading reviews of the experience before we went, and people were saying, oh, it's only like 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And that specifically was the reason why I was like debating, I don't know, do we want to do this? Do we not? But we ended up doing it nonetheless. Yeah. What were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was amazing. I mean, I was actually a little nervous that I was going to get like motion sick or something, but I didn't. It was weird because you're actually walking and you're actually like reaching for things, and it was insane.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Yeah. If you've never done VR before, this is going to completely blow your mind.
It will.
If you have done like just, normal VR, whether it's at home or whatever, it's really the same concept, except instead of having to, quote unquote, like teleport places, like if you've played VR, you know what I'm talking about. You can't just walk because you're in your living room or whatever. Yeah. So you have to like, jump to places with your controllers. So instead of that, you actually are able to walk around, and where there's a doorway in the game, there's actually a doorway in real life. So you have to walk through the doorway and all that stuff. So it's a really unique experience for that because it kind of takes VR to the next level.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's definitely it's a very similar sensation as VR, like normal VR that you would just play in your bedroom or your living room.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, even that is ridiculously fun. But it's a very similar thing. It just takes it just a little bit to the next level. But, when you do have to walk, you still get that weird sensation of like, oh, man, is the floor actually, am I about to run into a wall? I don't know.
There's that one part where you like sit down. I was like, this is weird. Like,
Oh yeah,
that
they
part
have
was
you.
so weird.
Yeah, they have you sit down in like one of the spaceships as it's landing on Mustafar, which is where the story takes place. Which, for all the non-Star Wars fans, Mustafar is the lava planet that Anakin Skywalker, like gets burnt alive in Episode 3. It's a dark place. But when you're in the ship, they have you sit down and you feel like the vibrations of the ship and everything too a little bit as you're like flying down, and it's really strange because you're like, it's almost like you can't see the chair, but you can.
Yeah.
You're like, man, am I just gonna like eat it
I thought
when
it
I
was just gonna
sit
fall.
down?
I know, you see it in the video, and then it's like, you're like, is there something really there or not? I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm putting a
it's
lot of trust in this right now.
Kind of hard to trust it at times. And it's weird because there's like also parts of the game where, and I didn't try it to see what would happen because just my mind couldn't handle it. But there's parts where they like have you walk across like narrow, like it's like pathways. Well, I don't know, it's like a door to get into another ship or whatever. So I guess it's a pathway, whatever. But there's a few spots where it's like you're walking on a really thin beam. And I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, don't fall.
Yes.
But then like I was like, but what would happen if I stepped off? Like,
I was wondering that kind of thing too.
yeah, I don't know. But it was really cool. There were a lot of special effects in it, like real special effects where, you know, you would step on a platform, and if the platform moved in the game, like the platform would vibrate a little bit to give you the sensation of like you're actually on a ship that's moving or a platform that's moving. And when you crossed over the lava, like you could smell barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh, it was really funny. I was like, oh man, I really want barbecue now. But yeah, so yeah, it was a really cool experience. I would say that if you're a Star Wars fan that doesn't have a VR headset, this is definitely something that's worth checking out and doing. It didn't quite add as much to the canon lore as I expected.
Yeah.
But it did give you a cool look inside of like Vader's castle on Mustafar. So, you know, if you don't have a VR headset at home, this is definitely something that I would recommend if you're a Star Wars fan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you know you get to pick up blasters and shoot
Yes.
stormtroopers, and that was
fun.
that was the best part of the game.
That was really fun.
Yeah, but let's talk about conversely. Maybe you are a Star Wars fan, but you do have a VR headset.
Okay.
So there's a VR game out right now called Vader and Mortal. They only have episode 1 released as of right now, but they are about to release episode 2. I think there's a rumor going out that they're going to be previewing it at D23.
They are.
So if they do, I'm sure we'll hear all about it, and we'll talk about it too. But, you know, it's like $10, and it actually lasts just a little bit longer than the Secrets of the Empire game at the Void. So, you know, it's about 30, 45 minutes. And in that, you actually do get a lot of information that expands the lore of the Star Wars canon. So if you are really like a fan of learning more about, you know, just the side stories of canon and everything, definitely check out Vader and Mortal. You can get it on Oculus. You can get it on the Quest, the Quest and the Rift. So if you have either of those type of Oculuses, you can get Vader Immortal. It's a really good game. It's like $10, and it's a lot of fun. I would actually say that it's very, very similar to Secrets of the Empire. If I were to guess, and I don't have like any actual information on this. This is just me speculating, but I would say that Secrets of the Empire was probably like a test run for that game.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because very similar story. You know, you're on a ship and you get taken in by the Empire and on Mustafar, and then you have to sneak around on in Vader's castle and not get caught and all that. And there's like a mission. You have to, you know, find something. It's a very similar storyline. So I would assume that Secrets of the Empire probably was like the test run. So if you are someone that has VR and you do have Vader and Mortal and you've played that before, honestly, I don't think I could recommend Secrets of the Empire just based off of price alone.
Yeah.
Secrets of the Empire is so much fun, and it does take the VR experience to the next I can't speak. It does take the experience to the next level, but it doesn't take it so far to the next level that if you have a VR headset, that it's going to like blow your mind.
Yeah, I see that.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you have that technology readily accessible to you, the $40 price tag is just, it's very steep.
Yeah. And it goes really fast too.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden they're just like, okay, good job everyone. And like, oh.
Yeah, it was kind of like you hit the climax of the story.
Yeah.
And it was over.
Yeah.
It was very short.
It was. It went so fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember exactly how long it was, but so there was a little pre-show. Like they introduce a little pre-show to you, and then after that show, you go in and get suited up in the VR headset. But after that pre-show, the game itself, I feel like it probably only lasted like 15, 20 minutes. I know time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
So it might have lasted a little bit longer than that. But I don't know, like just thinking back on it, it seems like the whole experience lasted about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But the game itself
yeah.
only lasted like 15, 20 is what it feels
Yeah.
like. I could be a little bit wrong, but coming out of that, just your initial experience and reaction is like, wow, that was short.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Yes.
Very short.
No, it was amazing. The effects were insane. And even though there was one point that my arm was like randomly floating.
Yeah.
And I was like, my arms are by my side. And then it just looked like my arm was just like floating through the air. It was really weird.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. So I was actually surprised at how many bugs and glitches
Yeah.
it still had.
Yeah, because yours wasn't working at first.
Yeah. You know, VR is still relatively, I mean, it's not new. It's been around for years, but it's still relatively new just because it's still becoming like refined to where it's cheap enough and small enough for someone to be able to have at their home.
Yes.
You know, like the Oculus is doing some amazing stuff with like the Rift where you don't have to have any motion sensors. It's just all built into the headset. And then the Quest, where you actually don't need anything. It's just the headset, which is really cool.
Yeah, that was.
But it's, I don't know, it's still one of those technologies that not everyone has bought into. And it hasn't been around long enough to really sort through all those bugs.
Yeah.
And going into this, I expected the Void, especially for how much they were charging, I expected the Void to be like, you know, because you're wearing the whole bodysuit and everything, or not bodysuit, but it's like a whole vest thing and a headset, that there would have been so much computing power in that that it would have been like foolproof.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. But when I got my suit on and everything, like my arms looked like they were broken. You know, like the wrists were like flipped upside. It was weird. So they had to completely like restart my thing. But after, and that took, I don't know, like 5 minutes or so to get it all sorted out again. And as soon as it was up and running, I was still having some audio issues from time to time. And your suit was doing it too. Mine did it a few times where like your arms weren't mapped to your actual arms.
Yeah.
So it was like, what is my hand doing?
It was like my arm was like over on the wall somewhere, and I was like, "What? Over here? Like, why is my hand floating?"
Yeah, it was
so weird.
So weird. And like you said it, if you look down, you can't see your feet.
That's
weird.
That was really weird.
But if you look to the person standing next to you, you can see them, and they look like a stormtrooper, and they have a full body and everything. That's really cool.
It was,
and there's even a microphone in the headset. So if, you know, there's certain parts in the game where it actually takes teamwork. You know, someone has to do like a small little puzzle kind of thing, and the other people have to keep guard and defend the person doing the puzzle thing to get you through the door. So that requires you to actually communicate with each other. But the microphones, I don't know if they just weren't picking up our voice well enough or if the transmission wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But I was having a really hard time hearing and understanding what everyone was saying.
Yeah.
It was just kind of, I don't know, between that and all the audio that was getting pumped through the headset, it was kind of hard to, it just kind of sounded like noise.
Yeah. I had a harder time hearing you than the other guy that was in our group.
Okay.
I could hear his voice a little bit, but it was really hard to hear you.
Maybe that was just my microphone.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because when I started speaking, I would get like halfway through a sentence, totally fine, and then I would hear like the loop of my mic again, and it would be like the first half of my sentence would make sense, and then the second half was like jumbled up because I was hearing myself talk. It was so weird. Yep. I didn't know how to react to that, so I was like, I'm just going to shoot instead.
Yeah, there we go.
So yeah, I was kind of surprised by just how unrefined the whole system was.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad thing. Like, it wasn't a huge issue. It was just, for the price that they're asking, I would have expected a little bit more.
Yeah, no.
It definitely wasn't bad enough to ruin your experience.
Oh, no, definitely not.
It was just something that, it did require you to work around those issues a little bit. But yeah, so overall, out of 10, 1 being like, don't go, 10 being like, it was the best thing ever, what would you rate it? And just a quick explanation of why.
I'd give it a 6.5.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was amazing. I mean, we had a really good time.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. But the price definitely brings down the rating for me, because I don't know if I would fully recommend it to someone or not. If someone's trying to do it on a budget, I don't know if I would really say, yeah, this is a must-do. But I don't know. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Would I do it again? Probably not at the price.
Mm-hmm.
But even though they do have the Wreck-It Ralph one,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
it sounds fun, but like I said, I don't know if I would do it or not.
Mm-hmm. What price do you think it would have to be at for you to like actually be able to fully recommend it with like a higher rating, and for you to go back?
Probably like 15.
Yeah.
I think 15 would be fair.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I would say 15's a fair number. I honestly would say the same thing. They had you do like a quick, I mean, you didn't have to, it was optional, but I decided to do it. They had you make a like short little review of the experience at the end. They just had some iPad kiosks set up, and I did it, and I think I rated it 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Not because the experience was bad, but because for what it is, it's way too much.
Yeah.
And I know, so part of the issue with that is it's at Disney, and so many people go to Disney that if it was cheaper, everyone would do it,
Yep.
and the slots would fill up, and there wouldn't be any room for anyone, and it would just be chaos. And I get that. It's kind of a shame that has to happen. You see that all throughout the parks where, the passes are getting more and more and more expensive just because so many people have them.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that that's why the prices are high, but they really have just like pushed it to the point where it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And I think if everyone understood what they were getting into, I don't think anyone... I wouldn't say anyone, but I think it would be a very small amount of people actually go into this thing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it wasn't crowded.
Yeah,
we got
no,
there.
it wasn't.
And the spots, they had like so many openings because we registered online just to make sure. And there were still lots of openings for every time slot.
Yeah,
so.
This is something that you actually don't have to worry about getting a spot for.
No.
Like, you can, last minute, if you're in Disney Springs and you see it and you're like, oh, hey, might as well try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have no issues getting a spot. And I guarantee you that's probably just because of the price.
Yeah, no, I think so too.
Yeah.
I know, if it was lower, that'd be selling out quick.
Yeah, and considering, so I get that it's kind of an unfair comparison comparing it to Vader and Mortal, even though I actually do think the experience from Vader and Mortal is a little bit better. The storyline's more flushed out, and you have the promise of the story continues and you're able to play through another story because it's episodic. But just a quick comparison between the two. Vader and Mortal is $10. And people complained about how expensive Vader and Mortal is because it's a $10 game, but it's really more of like a demo, so to speak.
Okay.
Normally, like for a full-fledged game, every now and then they'll do like demos, and you'll get, it's either free or it's very, very cheap, just a few dollars. And you're able to get a good chunk-sized bit of that game for you to sink your teeth into and figure out if this game is worth it or not. And that's really what the first episode of Vader Immortal felt like. And the fact that they were charging $10 for it kind of upset a lot of people. It's a short game. It's only like 30 minutes. But I heard the next one's going to be a little bit longer, but that's a side note. But the thing with that, though, even though it is really short, you can replay that game as many times as you want. And there's also like a training dojo where you can like just mess around with lightsabers for as long as you want. That's only $10. And I get that the Void is something a little bit different because there are physical elements to it as well. But at the end of the day, you're paying $40 to play a 25-minute game once. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. And they take your photo at the end. And even though, so with an annual pass, you actually get photos for, quote-unquote free-ish. There's watermarks on it. But if you
have the higher pass, though. If you have the highest, it's included.
Oh, yeah, like completely.
So, yeah.
But regardless, these photos you actually have to pay for.
Yes.
And normally I would at least stop and ask how much they are. But considering how much we paid for that game and how short it was, there was not a chance that I was going to be spending more money on that game. Nope. With the price of admission, everything should be included.
No, I agree.
I mean, totally if you want to charge $15, $20 for it, then I can understand how a paid photo might be a cool thing. Yeah. But if you're paying twice that amount for this game, don't try to get more money out of me. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I don't want to keep on bashing the game. I actually really had a lot of fun. And hey, if you're a type of person that you're like $40, that's not a whole lot, then definitely go do it. It's seriously so much fun. Yeah. And, if $40 is something you're okay with spending on this, you won't regret it.
No, definitely not.
It's a ton of fun. Definitely bring a friend or two or, all of them, get them hyped. It's Star Wars.
Yeah, you can do groups of 4. Yeah. So you have 3 friends, bring them along. Can all do it together.
Yeah, there's actually, I think there's 24 spots for every 15-minute interval. But they only send in 4 people at a time. So you can bring, as many people as you want, really. But they'll send 4 people in at a time. And it's very quick, So by the time you finish, it's just, a few minutes behind the next group of 4 finish. 4 people at a time, but you can bring up to like 24 people. Yeah. So right after finishing Secrets of the Empire, we headed over to Epcot. And really we went there, one, because that was the only park with fast passes available. But also because Illuminations is closing, and so is Club Cool. So we wanted to say goodbye to those 2 things, amongst other things, but those 2 things specifically. And I actually got some really cool photos of Illuminations, so I'll link my Instagram below, and I'll plug it at the end as well. But if you're interested in checking out some of those pictures and just reminiscing over Illuminations, check out my Instagram. I'll be posting them soon. But how was your day at Epcot, Tricia?
It was fun. Yeah, the waits were really long though.
Yes.
But we were able to get a Soarin' Fast Pass, which was really fun. So, and then we were just like walking around different worlds and kind of, oh, it was fun. You tried Beverly.
Yeah.
And yes, what was your description of that? It was.
Oh, okay. So up front, I forget what I said exactly up front. Like the initial taste, it was like nail polish remover and I don't know. It's so the drink literally tastes like it's like I don't know if you've ever had non-alcoholic beer before, but it's like it tastes like someone took a alcoholic drink and made a non-alcoholic version of that drink and named it Beverly.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't taste like actual soda. It tastes like it tastes like they tried to make something non-alcoholic that was alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I actually think that is what it is. We saw Beverly listed actually for sale within a drink at Disney Springs.
Disney Springs, the Coca-Cola store.
Yeah, but it's mixed in with alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a mixer of sorts.
Yeah, it has to be.
It has to be.
There's no way people want to drink that on its own.
No. But the aftertaste, very strong sunscreen is what that is. I don't know if you go to the beach or maybe, hey, you even go to Disney World and at the front of the park or at the beach, you have the people right next to you spraying on a ton of spray-on sunscreen. And you're just trying to live your life and you're breathing normal. You know, maybe you even open your mouth to speak a little bit and you get some of that sunscreen in your mouth.
Oh, yeah. That's
that
Beverly
taste,
right there.
That's Beverly. Yep. 100%. That is accurate.
Oh, yeah.
I had a plan going into this. It didn't work out too well.
No.
I probably should have done it the other way.
Yeah.
But the plan was, try all the different sodas other than Beverly. Figure out which one's your favorite. Which one is the one that really, hits you in the right way. And then you go for the 2-cup method. Like any alcoholics out there, you know what I'm talking about. You get your shot, you get your chaser. Yeah? So the shot being Beverly, the chaser being your favorite soda. And it does not work.
Yeah, that kind of failed.
Beverly sticks around. She's like a bad ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
You just cannot get rid of her. You take one sip and it's there for the rest of the day.
You were talking about it 10 minutes later. You're like, it's still there.
Yeah, I still taste sunscreen. Today. A whole day later, I still taste sunscreen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're being forced to try Beverly, which I mean you can't really anymore. I mean it's closing soon.
Yeah.
But
still have a little bit.
If you ever go to Italy, which is where it's from, and you're forced to try Beverly, do it up front,
Okay.
and then layer as much stuff on top of it as you can because it sticks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was everything I expected and maybe a little worse. It was probably my favorite one there, actually.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it's everyone's favorite.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we tried Club Cool, said goodbye to it. We happily said goodbye to the sour smell of the place.
Yeah, and the sticky floors.
And the sticky floors. I felt like Spider-Man. I literally could walk on the walls, and no issue. It was so sticky. Half the machines don't work. A kid literally broke one of the machines because, he didn't mean to. He just, pressed the push button to get the soda to come out, and the whole thing just went and fell and, broke.
Yeah, it was Beverly, too.
It was Beverly, yeah.
Which I wonder if anybody pressed that by accident, wondering what it was, and then have the horrible surprise of it being Beverly. Wonder what this one is.
Yeah, let's hope not, because that person didn't make it.
No.
They didn't make it. So we got to say goodbye to Club Cool, which was awesome. That was pretty cool. But But then we really just spent the day, walking around. It was a chill day. I mean, it wasn't chill. It was very hot.
Yeah.
Very hot. I did not come prepared, and I ended up getting super sunburned because there's no shade in Disney World at all. So bring umbrellas, bring sunscreen. Universal, it's weird. Like, I go to Universal all the time. I never get sunburned at Universal. And maybe that's because pretty much all the queues are at least under shade or indoors. And there's also a ton of trees around that provide shade. I never get sunburnt at Universal. Totally did not come prepared yesterday.
No.
Wow. That hurt a lot.
And I had sunscreen, and no, you didn't.
Mm-mm.
You were like, no.
I drank sunscreen.
Yeah.
My insides were fine. They were good.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah. Well, it didn't work.
It didn't work. No. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty chill day.
Yeah.
We only did a handful of rides. But, I think for the most part, Epcot is just a, you go to hang out kind of park. There's not too many rides or like attractions there. And the ones that are actually really fun are ridiculously long waits.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
The lowest Test Track got was like 105 minutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the highest it got was like 135 or something like that. It was ridiculous all day long.
Oh, yeah. Even the single rider line was long.
Yeah. Mission Space, though, actually wasn't that bad. There was a few times that I saw the wait time go down to like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So that one, depending on the time of day, I guess you can hit that one pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, we pretty much spent the day just walking around, just experiencing the experiences. But towards the end of the day, we decided to head over to the boardwalk.
Yes, my favorite place.
Your favorite place. Yeah, you hang out there too much.
Yeah, I really do. I'm there like once or twice a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were walking down the boardwalk, and there were people literally being like, "Hey, Tricia."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's a little too much.
Yeah.
No, it's cool though. It's always cool when the people who work there like recognize you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But we ended up getting a few drinks, just passing the time, waiting for Illuminations to happen.
Yep.
Because that's probably the last time we'll end up seeing it.
Yeah.
And we actually got really good spots.
Yeah. Oh no, those are good.
Yeah, we walked in the park and we kind of walked down some pathways, and we got like right on the waterfront. No one in front of us. And I think we got the perfect spot.
Yeah, I do too.
Especially for the last viewing, to be able to, get just prime viewing last time.
Yeah.
It was really nice. So what are your overall thoughts on like the final review of Illuminations?
Illumination?
Yeah.
No, I'm excited to see what they come up with for the next thing. I love Illuminations, but it has been around for a long time, so kind of see, Disney always comes up with amazing fireworks shows, and I don't know, excited to see what they have next.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's interesting that, I think it's interesting that the next show is called Epcot Forever, and it's only around for a year.
Yeah, that is ironic.
Yeah, but it looks cool. It looks something similar to what Universal's doing right now, except they'll probably add in a lot more fireworks than what Universal can do on their property right now. So it'll be interesting to see that show.
Yeah.
Illuminations was a good show.
It was. You can see the fireworks from the boardwalk.
Yeah, you can. But Illuminations, honestly, didn't have too much of a storyline. It was just a really cool nighttime show. And I think Disney, especially with the show that they introduced at Magic Kingdom, I feel like they're really trying to push story shows for their nighttime celebrations. Which is actually really cool. And the way that they are doing that is, I don't know, it's just an interesting spectacle to watch because especially with like the nighttime projections, that's a very modern technology.
Oh yeah. For sure.
So it's really amazing to watch some of these newer nighttime shows, even at like Universal, to see how they're pushing the boundaries. I know we're talking about Disney right now, but I'm actually really excited for the new nighttime show coming to Hogwarts, the Dark Arts show. They've been doing it in Hollywood, and people have just been going insane over the show.
Yeah.
And the fact that they use drones and everything too,
Yes.
I think it's going to be really cool. But going back to Illuminations, it just kind of seems like, it's the old style of doing a show.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh.
It's actually a really good show. And it would still be a good show if it kept playing for the next few years. But you can see that Disney's trying to push a new form of nighttime shows.
Definitely.
And Epcot Forever seems to be more in the vein of that type of show. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what elements they pull from their other shows, or if they pull any. Maybe it's like a completely unique and fresh show, which would be amazing to see. But it'll be interesting to see what elements they pull from their other shows.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's be more like projection kind of thing, kind of like with Phantasmic on the water, or I don't know, but I'm sure they have something amazing planned.
Yeah, so. That's kind of what it looks like, right? Something kind of like also what they did with the Jungle Book show at Animal Kingdom, where it was just a projection on the water.
Yep.
Something similar to what Universal does. That kind of seems like what they're going for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah. And when it finally debuts, you can expect us to talk about it here on the show.
Of course.
Of course. But talking about new things, and we've mentioned it the last 2 episodes, but you are leaving tomorrow.
I am leaving tomorrow.
For D23. So you can expect a whole lot of D23 coverage here, because as soon as you get back, I'm going to be asking the questions. You're going to be answering them. And talking about your experience.
I'm excited.
Awesome. I'm excited too. But next week, this coming week, so on Monday, I'll be releasing a new podcast. Since she is out of town, I'll be doing a podcast solo, and I will be talking about everything HHN 29. It's coming up. I'm excited. It's going to be awesome. But I'm doing a rundown of all the houses, all the scare zones, and we're going to be ranking them, what I'm excited for, the least all the way up to what I'm the most excited for. Just some expectations and that sort of thing. So if you are pumped for HHN, be sure to tune in on Monday when that episode drops. But I think it is time to end the show. Go ahead and plug your stuff, Tricia.
Well, I'm going to be doing lots of D23 updates over in Disney Dining. So we have an Instagram, we have a Facebook page, we're going to be live streaming on Facebook. So make sure to check that out, because there's going to be a lot happening those days.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll be sure to link that down below for you guys so you can check her out. Again, that's Disney Dining, and I'll link all the social media stuff too, so it's easy access. You just got to click the link. Just go down there, click that link. Yeah. That's all you got to do. Cool. And my name is Jonathan Holt. You can follow me on Instagram at johnholt96. Again, I'll link that below as well. And I do a lot of stuff on YouTube as well for photography and filmmaking. So if those are the sort of things that you are interested in, learning more about, and just building up community around those sort of things, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel. It's just at Jonathan Holt. Again, I'll link that below. But yeah, those are the best 2 places to reach me. And I think that does it for episode 3 of Theme Park Center. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Go ahead and leave us a review. It actually really does help out the show. We are trying to expand to as many podcasting platforms as possible. It's been a little bit of a project to try to get that up and going, but I guarantee you guys that it's going to be up on as many platforms as we can possibly get it on. So be sure to share the show and follow us on whatever platform works best for you. Right now, Spotify is kind of our main thing, but we are working really hard to get everything up and running perfectly and smoothly on Apple Podcasts. So expect that coming soon. But yeah, that does it for the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you in just a few days.
Bye, guys.
Bye.